I've just bought the most expensive thing in my entire life. No, 𝐒𝐬 haven't just put their prices up. We've just bought a unit. The building I'm standing in will be called the Artisan HQ for a long time to come. Let me tell you about all the things that we've got planned. But first, make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already to join us on our journey. So this is it, moment of truth. After 7 months of waiting and dealing with solicitors and all of the crazy headaches that are involved in buying a property, which I've never done before, so it's all been completely new to me, we're finally going to pick up the keys. Hello, Mr. Farley here to pick up the keys for Unit 4. Yeah, fantastic. Cool, thank you very much. Got the keys. It's been a long time in the making, and it's taken a lot of hard work, late nights and big decisions. But we finally made what is arguably the biggest move in Artisan history. For the past 3.5 years, we've been working out of this office. It was too small for us, had slow internet and barely any space for storing tools or materials. Before COVID, we used it as a bit of a dumping ground. During COVID, we used it as a YouTube studio and a storage facility. And then after COVID, we slowly moved the team in. But as the team has grown, it's been impossible to fit everyone in. So we've been doing hot desks and certain team members working from home while others worked in the office and taking turns throughout the week. And as our future plans involve more growth within the team, it just made sense now to take the next step in the business, to secure a place of our own where we've got space to grow and space to thrive. And I just want to thank all of you for the support that you've given us as a company over the years. I know that many of you have been watching since right at the beginning when I was just a one-man band, and through all the ups and downs and growing pains that we've had as a business, you've been there watching and supporting us from the sidelines, and we really appreciate it, and we're glad you're here for this amazing step in our company's journey. So this building used to be an old carpenter's workshop, and it's been well loved and cared for. There's been a lot of beautiful artisan carpentry work that's been done in here. Excuse the burglar alarm going off in the background. First electrical job that needs solving in this property. So let me give you a tour. This is the largest space in the property, and we're going to be using this open plan space as a workshop and stores, basically. As you've seen, we've not had much space to store materials in the past, and that has sometimes held up jobs and been a bit of a headache. So we're going to have all of this racked out. We're even going to have pallet racking where we can store heavier, larger items like batteries, solar panels, etc. And all of that is going to be tied together with this amazing piece of machinery here. I bought a forklift truck. I couldn't resist. The previous owner, you know, he sold everything in this building. So it was filled with carpentry machinery, CNC machines, loads of amazing kit. But when I saw this, I said to him, please, can you keep the forklift truck for us? Because I secretly always wanted a forklift, but also it's going to be really practical for being able to load and unload materials to our vans potentially. I've got to learn how to drive a forklift, and we are actually going to be hiring a new team member for the role of procurement and operations coordinator. So that person is going to be in charge of all of our buying, stocking materials and keeping track of all our stock, and ideally that person's got a forklift license as well. So if you're interested in that role, we'd love to hear from you. There's information below on how you can apply. Basically send an email to jobs@artisanelectrics.co.uk with a CV and a short video telling us about yourself, and that applies to any role, to be honest, because we are going to be hiring for multiple roles over the coming months to grow the Artisan team to fill this beautiful building. I don't even know how to turn it on. Oh, pin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, of course. Ooh, HBR, what does that mean? Handbrake, oh, handbrake. There we go. DIR, what does that mean, DIR? I'm just looking on YouTube to find out where the handbrake is. It's literally the red button here. Okay, I feel like I need to hold on, but DIR, what does DIR mean? It doesn't seem to want to drive when I'm pressing the accelerator, it's just saying DIR.
Got it. If it's not moving, it could be that the forklift is in neutral, or maybe the parking brake is on.
Okay, I'm gonna call Bob.
Make sure you're not pointing towards the wall or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got it. Hey, that's it. Fantastic.
Are you moving? Are you moving?
I'm moving. Yeah, all good. Yeah, thank you. It's easy when you know how. That was Bob, the previous owner. He's absolutely lovely, and he's just given me a quick lesson over the phone on how to drive the forklift. So now I sort of know what I'm doing. Right, anyway, before I get distracted playing with the boys' toys too much, let's continue the tour. So currently a little kitchen, but for us the kitchen's going to be upstairs. This is going to be turning into the plant room and the kind of like working brain of the building when it comes to electrics, data, security, all of that kind of stuff. In here is the mains, electrics. We currently have 2 distribution boards in here. It's got a nice decent supply, 100 amp 3-phase. There's a little bit of a mess of cabling for all of the network stuff at the moment. Obviously a carpenter shop doesn't rely too much on this kind of thing. And we're going to be replacing this ABB and MEM board with a nice new shiny board with all the bells and whistles. Now in here, one of the primary uses is obviously going to be storage. So racking to store tools that we don't use every day, and particularly materials that we use a lot of that we can keep a stock of. But we're also going to use it as a little bit of a workshop area where we can prep stuff ready for projects. And along here, what you'll notice is we've got these lovely 3-phase power points already. So one of my thoughts is to revisit the Swiss cheese wall. For those of you hardcore viewers who remember my old Swiss cheese wall at my house, well, we're going to take the Swiss cheese wall to the next level here and have a dedicated space, probably ply-boarded and stuff like that, so that we don't actually damage these beautiful walls behind me, but where we can install different products and try them out. So I'm super excited to have the space to be able to do stuff like that. It's just, we've never had that opportunity before, and now we can. So one of the first things that we're going to be doing is a full EICR in this place to just get a feel for the wiring and make sure there's no hidden things that are a bit dodgy that we need to fix. And then we're going to start to rip out a lot of the stuff that we can't reuse. A bit of a strip out episode might be coming. Now this space behind me is going to be our video production studio. So obviously Artisan Group, because we're now a group, Artisan Motion is the media side of our business, and that's where we create all of our content. And we did have a YouTube studio in the past, which you might remember. Well, this is taking that to the next level, and it's going to enable us to do a lot of content that we aren't currently able to do. Maybe even a podcast, which is something I've been tempted to do for a while. So drop a note in the comments if you'd like to see a podcast from us, and what might that podcast be about. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And above me, as you can see, this is open plan right now, but we're actually going to build out the mezzanine floor above so that we have more floor space in the office area above. So let me show you that. So this is going to be our open plan office area. So we're going to have a really nice big open space for offices. 2 banks of desks currently, with 4 people at each set of desks. We're going to put some windows in along here to bring in some natural light, because we're going to be blocking off the natural light from the skylights above. The reason for that is that this entire ceiling is going to be plasterboarded, and then we're going to have dropped cable trays and things like that. It's going to be quite a nice high ceiling with some fancy lighting, and on the roof we're going to be covering then the entire roof in solar panels to maximize the amount of generation that we can get from our own solar install. Now this is what we're going to call the breakout area. Basically there's going to be a table here where people can work. So the electricians, for example, can come in and finish their certs off here. Sometimes we're going to be able to have meetings around this table. There's going to be a wall there with a couple of windows to look down on the loading bay, so we can still see what's going on down in the loading bay, and then a nice big screen in the middle where we can have meetings, we can watch videos, but the most important part is going to be over here. We're knocking down this wall, and along here is going to be a little kitchenette area, coffee machine, obviously, absolutely vital, dishwasher, sink, hot and cold taps, and we're going to have to choose the most Artisan coffee machine. So if you know any really good commercial grade coffee machines, let me know in the comments. I'm looking for a recommendation. This space, which is going to be a meeting room for a bit of private space where we can talk with team members, have private conversations, have client meetings. So if you're one of our customers and, for example, we're going to present a design to you, we might even be able to have you in here in person to show you the design on the screen that's going to be up there on the wall, or jump on a video call with you where we sit with you and talk through your design and show you the 3D model of your property with your solar panels, etc. Now, I've not quite decided what to do with this reception area yet. I don't think we're quite of the size where we need a receptionist at the front desk to greet people and stuff, although I do love that idea. But one of the things that we do want to do is just make it a nice welcoming space for people when they walk in. What we're going to do is try and get some nice artwork on the walls of some of our projects, a couple of light boxes with some really nice photos of some of the jobs that we've done. It's kind of hard to visualize it all now, but the company that we're working with, who's helped us to design this and to do the fit out, they've given us a really beautiful 3D model of what it's all going to look like, and trust me, it's going to look epic. So this will be the entrance to the Artisan Motion studio, and what I'm thinking is to have one of those cool on-air signs above, so that when we're recording we can let people outside know that we're on air and they have to be a little bit quiet. One of the projects that we're working on as a business for a while is making things as smooth as possible for our customers, like this smooth wheels on this skateboard. But basically the idea is to offer a full end-to-end service for customers. So from design all the way through to install and then maintain for the life of the system. That's what we're really looking to achieve at Artisan, and we've already started offering our paid design service, which is working really well. Obviously, you know that we're offering great installation services, if you've seen a lot of the projects that we've done over the years. And the maintain side of things is something that is an ongoing project that we're trying to expand as well for some of our larger customers. But this space is going to enable us with our design suite to be able to take the design side of things to the next level and really be able to showcase our design skills, which we believe are a fundamental part of getting good quality renewable installations done. Now, there's been a lot of challenges to get to this point. One of the biggest challenges actually that I've noticed is that 70% of viewers who watch our videos regularly haven't subscribed yet. So if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and join us for the rest of this journey. But seriously, I don't know about you, but if you've ever dealt with solicitors, absolute nightmare, so slow. And to be fair, our solicitors have been really good, but you're dealing with multiple solicitors on a project like this and things just take time. So we engaged the seller right back at the end of last year, December 2024, and it's taken 7, nearly 8 months for us to actually get the keys in hand. That's just with all of the various steps that it takes to get through to the point where you can actually purchase a property like this. But the reason we've gone down the buying route rather than leasing, etc., is it just really secures the future of the business. Owning the building, being able to fit it out exactly how we want it, and knowing that we're not going to have a lease ripped out from under our feet after a few years is really reassuring, and it means we can plan long term and know that this is an investment for the future of the business. Now, I've got a bit of a conundrum here because obviously the YouTuber in me wants to go absolutely nuts and film videos about every single segment of this fit out. But the other part of me is like, oh, I've done series of videos before and they've not always gone down that well. So I'm a little bit torn, and I want you guys to help me to know what parts of the fit out would you like to see the most. It's going to take 2 to 3 months for us to get the full fit out done and get moved in. And along that way, there's going to be first fix electrics, second fix electrics. I mean, there's so many different videos that we could do about all of the different stages of the project. And then if you zoom out, there's things like, you know, how does it actually work from a business point of view, organizing all of this stuff, some of the behind the scenes type things, and then the general construction with the contractors who are coming in. There's like probably 100 videos that we can make about this project, but I don't want to bore you guys to death. I just want to create content that you really enjoy and find interesting. So if there's anything specific you'd like to see, I'd love all of your feedback in the comments below. Now obviously with all the content that we're going to make around this project, there's a great opportunity for sponsors to help us with the project too, and we've already secured some great sponsors for this project, so massive shout out to all of you who've reached out and said you're willing to help us to sponsor various segments of the project. But there is room for more help too. So if you're a brand who watches our channel and thinks that you've got something that could be of use for us in this project, we'd love to hear from you. It'll be an opportunity for us to showcase something that you think would be valuable to our audience, but also help us to build out the Artisan HQ. So what do you think? Have I made a good choice, or is this a disaster waiting to happen? Well, only time will tell. There's a ton of work to do on this project, and we look forward to you joining us on this amazing video series that we're going to be filming here. Make sure you've liked and subscribed to watch all of the latest updates. And if you'd like to join the Artisan team, or indeed if you'd like to be a sponsor of our project here at this amazing Artisan HQ, all of the information about that will be in the description below. Why not settle in if you've enjoyed this video and watch one of the ones that are going to pop up here on the screen now that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy.